I'm Veronica Marshall at the Capitol. This week on Senate Spotlight, a package on gun violence prevention and protection passes on the Senate floor. Supporters say it doesn't just do something to protect Minnesotans from gun violence, it does everything, and that includes protecting your rights.
Your rights are going to be protected, but we are also going to do everything in our power to keep kids safe.
Details on the comprehensive legislative package and where it stands now. Plus, financial fears are rising as the cost of living continues to increase.
It would be a big help to Minnesotans if they could just have a little extra money in their pocket every month.
More on the effort to end state taxes on tips and overtime. That's all coming up.
Senate Spotlight is produced by the Minnesota Senate and Senate Media Services.
After a historic vote on the Senate floor, stricter gun laws and more funding for mental health services and school safety efforts could be on the way. Annunciation Church parents say they're proud of the progress senators have made to keep their children safe from gun violence.
We're actually doing something meaningful that would be lasting and impactful in keeping them safe every single day.
Senator Zaynab Mohamed authored the gun violence prevention package, and while she also applauds the progress, she says the work isn't done yet. Senator, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be here with you.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to meet you, and I'm excited to learn more about this package you've been working on. You've been working on a gun violence prevention package. It just passed here in the Senate, and we know that the Annunciation Church shooting added urgency to the call for gun violence prevention measures, but you've actually been working on this much longer than that, right? So take me through what initially motivated you to start working on this package.
Well, you're certainly right that the Annunciation shooting did add urgency to the issue, but gun violence is something I have been working on since the start of my legislative career in 2023. When we passed red flag laws in 2023, that was awesome and historic. Binary triggers was something that is personal to me. I've been impacted by it and something I talked to my caucus about. And I was grateful that Senator Gustafson was able to pass it last session and we were able to include it in this package. But I think over the years what I have learned is this is a holistic approach and we have to treat it as such. That it can't just be guns, it has to include mental health. That is a huge part of that issue. And it's something that people all over Minnesota talk about, and it's something that I wanted to make sure was included in this package as well.
Right, you mentioned that it's holistic. I've also heard this package being called comprehensive and layered, and you've said it's not just doing something, it's doing everything. So take me through some of the main ideas that are in this package.
Yeah, so the package includes a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, which is something that we talked a lot about since the shooting at Annunciation. It includes a ban, a re-ban on the binary triggers bill that we passed last session. It also includes a ban on ghost weapons, includes funding for mental health, both for healthcare professionals, as well as mobile crisis. It also includes school safety aid for schools, both private and public. It is a really comprehensive, well thought out approach. And I say this because when we did the work group first in early September after the shooting at Annunciation, I heard from people all over Minnesota. I've also heard from our members on both sides of the aisle. Some said we want mental health funding. Some said we want school safety aid for private and public schools. Some said we need to ban weapons of war out of our streets. And so I think for me, it was a yes approach to all of the above. We don't have to do one thing, let's just do it all. And that's what this comprehensive package does.
You mentioned that you heard from people all over the state. Talk to me more about some of the stakeholders you worked with to create this package.
Yeah, so we worked with the most important stakeholder in this bill that we worked with are the families at Annunciation. Especially Mike Moisky and Jackie Flavin, who are the parents of Harper Moisky. The entire community was a part of this. This has shaped their lives in a way that they didn't expect it would, and they made this their entire life. This session, and before session started, Mike and Jackie sat down with members on both sides of the aisle in their home and talked to them about what happened to their daughter Harbor and how they wanted weapons of war out of our streets, but also they understood that this had to be a holistic approach, that mental health funding had to be a part of it. And so that is the main stakeholder in this package, and the parents understand that. They understand we can actually ban weapons of war, but we should do more. And this was an opportunity for me and our members of our caucus to lean in and talk to our members across the aisle and say, you know what, you care about mental health funding, let's do it. You want school safety aid, let's do it. Disappointed in the vote, but excited that we got it. We were able to do it, but disappointed that no members of the Republican Party joined us.
Let's talk about that. We know the vote was down party lines. You know, was there anything that could have been done to get bipartisanship?
That is an important question, and as we have been working on this package to put it together and working with these families, working with advocates of gun violence and advocates of who are pro mental health funding and ones who are pro school safety aid, I think we put together a package of exactly what Republicans asked for. Members, whether it's no matter which member on the Republican side, every single one of them asked for a school safety aid for private and public schools. We added that. They asked for mental health funding. We added that. Members on the Democratic side and the community asked for us to ban weapons of war out of our streets. We added that. And so, you know, I think the question to ask is, in terms of them voting against their top priority, which is school safety aid in this package, was it a matter of principle? Was it political pressure from gun lobbyist groups? Or was it them wanting to stick together as a caucus and vote it down? I think their communities are asking for this comprehensive, well thought out package, and they'll be able to answer to them during the election year.
You mentioned gun lobbyist groups, and they represent certain populations. What would you say to the people that are hearing those messages too, not just your colleagues, and they're concerned about their gun rights?
I think that's a question that has come up over the months as we've been doing this package of bills. The answer to that question is this issue has been tested in the court of law in a number of states that have passed a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and that courts have held it up. And so it is not taking away people's fundamental rights. I also think of what the father of Harper Moisky said after we passed the bill in the Senate floor. And he said, for the people who are saying it is my God-given right to have an assault weapons ban, it is also a God-given right for a 9 and a 10-year-old to live beyond 9 years old and 10 years old. And so our lives are also a God-given right, and we should be able to protect those. And he speaks to it better than anyone else and more powerfully. And so your rights are going to be protected, but we are also going to do everything in our power to keep kids safe.
It is said that this vote could have political consequences for some of your DFL colleagues that live in those purple districts, especially given that this is an election year. So how do you respond to that?
That Minnesotans are watching us and watching what we do, and what they've asked for us to do is pass a comprehensive package to keep children safe. Minnesotans in both areas that are full Democratic or Republican or purple areas have asked for that. I think it would be a bigger political risk for us to not take this vote. We have seen the polling. Over 60% of Minnesotans are on our side. We know this issue continues to get bigger and more popular. And so for the Democrats who took this vote, who are in purple seats, they understand where their districts are at. They also understand the moral aspect of this issue, and that you can't look away from what happened at Annunciation. You can't look away from what happened to Harbor and Fletcher, and from the parents who are asking for this. And I think they took this vote both because they understand where Minnesotans are at. This issue is bipartisan across the state of Minnesota. In here, in the legislature, it's not. But it's because members have made it that way. And our colleagues, my colleagues on the Democratic side who are in purple seats have taken the vote and understand that it is a bigger political risk not to take this vote.
I think I recall Senator Latz saying too that it's about doing what's right and maybe not always what's politically expedient. We've talked about your colleagues here in the Senate. What about the House? What are you hearing over there on that side in regards to the package?
I'm concerned. We brought a comprehensive package to the floor in the Senate. We passed it. The House is supposed to take it up. We have seen them not even acknowledge the package that's at the desk. Last night, I believe Representative Jamie Long asked for the bill to be pulled, and they don't even want to acknowledge it. And I think that's a failure on Lisa Damuth and a failure on Leader Niska, and I think Minnesotans see that. What we're seeing, I think that's really important in their approach here, is that they don't even want to take a position on the issue. This is an issue that they care about. They've asked for school safety aid. We've asked for us to reform our gun laws. It includes both, and they do not want to take a vote on their own issue, which I think is disappointing.
Well, what they do doesn't take away what you guys did in the Senate. You've called the vote historic. Tell me more about that.
It's historic for a number of reasons. Number one, this is the first time we've passed a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in the history of the state off of the Senate floor, which is an enormous deal, and we're really proud of that. It has taken months and stories and families and community members and talking to members on both sides to bring this to the floor and to pass it. It's also a big deal because this is the first time we've put together a comprehensive package that includes, yes, a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, but it also includes funding for mental health and school safety, and a number of other things. I think for us, it's about we're asking ourselves, what can we do to make sure that what happened at Annunciation never happens again? It's an issue that is important to people in my generation and young people, and they're seeing, you know, a lot of people in this body talk about the issues that impact communities and what they're going to do about it. And for them, it's often theoretical. People in my generation have lived through a number of mass shootings as we've been in school. We're seeing kids who are younger than us live through that right now. And so it's historical that we were able to get this done, and we'll continue to fight for it to pass it, because the goal here is for it to become law.
Tell me more about that, the fight to continue on, because you've said the work is far from over. So what's next?
Well, what's next is the House has to take up the bill and vote on it. And I think from what we saw last night is they do not want to take a position on this issue. And when I say they, I'm talking about House Republicans. They have seen the bill pass in the Senate. They understand that the appetite for it to pass across Minnesota is huge. This issue continues to get bigger and more popular. It's polling at over 69% for Minnesotans all across. It's a huge political liability for them, and so they don't want to take a vote on it. And so for me, I'm putting pressure on Lisa Damuth and Leader Niska, and I'm asking them, take the bill off the agenda and let's take it up, let's vote on it. It's your choice if you want to vote against it, but you should tell Minnesotans where you stand on banning weapons of war out of our communities.
At least have the vote.
At least have the vote. You don't have to vote for it if you do not want to. If you do not believe that we should ban a bill if you do not believe that we should ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines out of our communities, go ahead. You can vote no. If you believe in school, if you do not believe we should have school safety aid, you can go ahead. You'll have the opportunity. But we have given you everything you want, and now it's your opportunity to take the vote. We're asking them to take a position, and they refuse to do that.
Senator, thank you for this conversation, and it's been lovely having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
If we could do one thing that would save a child or children's lives in this state, we would do it. That's what we're here to do, is to help make this a better society day in and day out as we show up to work. There's one problem with that. This bill doesn't do that. This bill will not be saving lives, because this bill does not have a chance of going forward as it is currently written.
Senate Republicans say the gun violence prevention package is unconstitutional. That's why they couldn't support it, even though the package had provisions they agreed with, like spending an additional $14.7 million to increase access to mental health supports across the state and $20 million to enhance school safety measures. Minority Leader Mark Johnson says the bill's gun control elements, like banning ghost guns and binary triggers, puts the money for safer schools and expanded mental health services in jeopardy.
My heart just breaks to see this get put in a poison pill that we know isn't constitutional. They'll give it a harder time in even heading over into the House.
As of Thursday, May 14th, the House has yet to take up the gun violence prevention package. Now, with support from Senate Democrats, members of the House DFL caucus say they'll stage a sit-in until the bill is heard on the House floor. Senate Democrats have previously pressured the House GOP to make progress on affordability bills. Those bills have since been included in the supplemental budget agreement that was made Wednesday night. Senate Republicans have their own ideas on how to improve affordability across the state. Senator Karin Housley says scaling back state taxes is a place to start. Senator, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me back. It's been a while.
I know, and so I'm so happy we got you in. And to talk about something that's so important to so many Minnesotans right now. We keep hearing there's an affordability crisis. It kind of looks different to everyone. So what are you hearing or seeing in your district?
Yeah, you know, first of all, the price for homes, first-time home buyers, it's become unaffordable. And even my son, he is 34. He ended up moving from Minnesota to South Carolina because he looked for 2 years to try and find something here, and he just went, you know what, Mom, we're going to move to where my wife's family is because they could get a much bigger home for a lot more affordable price. So it used to be that first-time home buyers the average age was 33. That was just in 2020. And now in 2026, first-time home buyer age is 40 years old. So, I mean, that we're really hearing about that a lot. And also just the price of everything that cuts in their pocketbook, that they're like, come on, government, do something to help us out. So that's really what our focus has been here on the Republican side, is just try to make life more affordable for Minnesotans.
And that's kind of a sad story. I'm sorry for your family that your son had to move away. And no wonder that makes it a personal mission for you to improve affordability here. How did we get here to this point?
Well, for my son, he said, Mom, if you fix things, I will be coming back. So I'm like, okay, I will run one more term and let's see if I can fix this thing. You know what? And I hate to place blame on anybody, but the Democrats do have to take some accountability for this, because back in 23, we had an $18 billion surplus. I mean, historic surplus, $18 billion, and they spent that almost overnight and then raised our taxes by another $10 billion. So we're now feeling it. Back in 23, 24, we were screaming from the rooftops, like, please listen to us. And they would not listen to us. They pushed all of this through. And now we're feeling it today. We're feeling it again when it comes to first-time home buyers. We're feeling it when it comes to our license tabs fees. Those have gone up exponentially just because of what they did in 2023. So there was this insatiable appetite that the Democrats had when they took full control, House, Senate, and Governor, to just spend, and then they went, oh wow, we spent too much. We're gonna have to go back to Minnesotans and take more of their money. And so it's so frustrating being on this side of it, and especially hearing from constituents what actually happened to that money. When there was waste, fraud, and abuse, Minnesotans were being stolen from in the last couple of years, and now we've seen it. So it's so frustrating, and I can't imagine for people on the outside, meaning not working here in government, to go, why do I even want to pay my taxes anymore when it's just being squandered out and being stolen? So it's very frustrating, and that's how we got here. So I hate to, because I love all my Democrat friends across the aisle, but I'd like them to stand up and say, you know what, we probably moved too fast, and some of the mandates and taxes that we raised on people really didn't work out, and we need to dial some of that back.
What can we do here at the state legislature to improve affordability?
Well, one of them that Senator Jasinski had is the license tab fees. Like, let's dial those back to pre-2023. All of the surrounding states are way less than we have here in the state of Minnesota, and some of our tab fees are costing us more than our car payments are. So that would be one. Property taxes. the mandates that we put on our cities, our townships, our counties, and even our school districts have caused our property tax. And those are two things that you can't fix in your budget. You can't go, oh, I'm going to try and cut back on my tab fees, or I'm going to cut back on. No, you have to pay those things. So those are a couple of things, and hopefully here this last week we can get something done on that. But also, I have a couple of bills that are federal conformity when it's no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. That would be a big help to Minnesotans if they could just have a little extra money in their pocket every month.
Tell me more about those bills. I know when you were introducing them, you talked a lot about your hairdresser, right? And how this would impact her. I love how you have these personal stories for your legislation. So tell me more about that.
Well, first, Nikki at Joppa Salon in Stillwater said, I heard you were talking about me at a press conference. And I said, well, yeah, because we talked. And that's where you get all your info. You always get good info at the hair salon. But it would mean a lot if Minnesota did not tax our tips. And so they passed that at the federal level. And these people work so hard, and even on the overtime, if you're going above and beyond to work overtime, don't tax the overtime, or don't tax the tips that I'm tipping Nikki or I'm tipping my server at the restaurant. That's what we are giving to them as an extra bonus, so don't tax that for their hard work. So, but Minnesota did not do it. Many other states have done it. It's bipartisan, from Washington State to Texas. And other states are looking at it. It sure would help. It sure would help on day-to-day in your pocketbook if Minnesotans could keep that extra money.
And not just Minnesotans like Nikki or your servers, but you said they could help small businesses too?
Absolutely. Nikki's going to kill me. I'm going to send her this link after. Yeah, it will help small businesses because this way their employees can actually be making more money. It doesn't cost the business anything, but these employees can be making more money, which makes them more competitive when it comes to the job market. So it really would help our small businesses when they've been struggling ever since COVID.
You mentioned that the federal government has done this under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act this year. How does that interact with your bills? Like, how do they relate to each other?
Well, again, it's just federal conformity that a lot of other states have done. And again, back to my hair salon, I know I'm going to get some crap from people for talking about my hair salon. But it's what they're talking about. They're like, you know what, if I move over to Wisconsin, or, well, actually Nikki lives in Wisconsin, but if I have my business over there, I get to keep my tips and not have it taxed. So it makes a difference at the end of the year. So if we could just get some federal conformity, and it will work right along with what they do at the federal level. So let's just keep this, one size fits all for this no tax on tips and overtime.
Sounds like it'll be good for workers, for businesses, and it'll make Minnesota perhaps a little more competitive in that business market.
Absolutely.
But it is a tax relief bill, which means that money would not be coming into the state, so the state would be bringing in less. Given our tight budget situation, is that something we can afford to do right now?
When I heard that at the press conference, it infuriated me, to be honest. I dialed it back a little bit, but you know what? $9 billion is what they say has been stolen from Minnesota through fraud. $9 billion. Like, our state government needs to look at their own pocketbook right now. There's $9 billion right there. There's $18 billion that they squandered away. We really need to dial down and really look at our own pocketbook and then look at our spending. That's what we would do if it were our own household. We'd say, oh my gosh, I'm spending way too much. I've got to rein this in a little bit. And if you all of a sudden notice that a bunch of money is flying out the window, that somebody's stealing from you, or fraud is happening, you'd pull that in. And that hasn't happened in the last few years under the Walz administration. So that has to be our #1 priority. There's plenty of money, especially when they've grown government by 40% since Walz took over. 40%. Minnesotans don't care about how many full-time employees that the state government have. They want to know how much money can they keep that they have earned in their own pocket. So, and that should be our priority here. So let's watch our pocketbook, watch our spending, and get that fraud under control.
You've mentioned that the idea of not taxing tips and overtime has seen bipartisan support across the country. Different states, red, blue, purple, what have you, are doing it. What about here in the legislature? Is there bipartisan support for these bills?
Well, I'm sure there is. We just didn't get a hearing on it. It's very popular amongst Minnesotans. I think it's got a 75% approval, but we just didn't get a hearing in the tax committee, and that was disappointing. So I'm hoping we're in the majority come November, and that will be one of the first things that we do, is to make sure that Minnesotans' tax or tips and overtime are not taxed.
So if this comes up again next session, anything else in the works for improving affordability that we can see from you?
Again, it's just paying attention to that budget. Like that, how that got so out of control and the train went off the rails is beyond me. When we kept warning, this is what's going to happen and this is what is happening and when are you going to do something about it? And it took a 20-something-year-old YouTuber to bring it to the nation's attention, when we knew this was happening all along and thought that they were getting it under control, yet they weren't. So there's plenty of money. Minnesotans are one of the highest taxed in the country. Plenty of money to run our state government. Let's make sure our Minnesotans keep more of their money in their pocket, and then they'd be able to afford a lot of the things that they want to.
Senator, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me again.
One of those GOP-led affordability measures is now moving forward. Tab fees will revert to the 2022 rate for 1 year. The start date on that has yet to be determined, but the tab fee tax cut is expected to save taxpayers $250 million.
The average new $50,000 vehicle, that will save each about $1,000 per Minnesotan over 5 years.
No one wants to see their loved ones in nursing homes suffer from neglect, but a recent Senate vote blocked a measure designed to better protect seniors. Senate File 4476, the Human Services Omnibus bill, included a measure that would require long-term care homes to maintain certain staffing ratios and imposed financial penalties for facilities that failed to meet those standards.
Staffing is care. A resident who needs help getting out of a bed, using the restroom, bathing, receiving medication, preventing bed sores, avoiding falls, or responding to a medical emergency cannot receive that care if there aren't enough staff on hand. Research from the Leonard Davis Institute at the University of Pennsylvania concluded that minimum staffing standards of this type can save 13,000 lives across our country.
However, a bipartisan group of senators said the one-size-fits-all approach threatens nursing homes already facing staffing shortages, especially those in greater Minnesota.
Those workers don't exist. In our community, he wants to have more people there doing this work, but they just don't exist. He can't hire people now because people aren't prepared for this. So one thing that I would have liked to see in this bill, or in this possibility, is some additional resources towards workforce development. So if we're going to require people to have a certain ratio, we have to make sure that those people are trained well enough and they exist to do that job.
By imposing these unworkable mandates, we are not improving care. We are actively reducing the number of care facilities that will be able to remain open. We are creating a system where the very people that we aim to protect will have fewer options and face greater financial hardship.
Having the ability for your loved one, your spouse, your kids, your family to visit you is a critical component to growing older, to being in these facilities and not feeling lonely. And if we move forward with staffing mandates that don't work for our rural nursing home and assisted living facilities, I worry about the challenges that will face many of the nursing home and assisted living facilities in my district that will require those facilities to close and those seniors to move further and further away from their home communities.
The amendment to delete the staffing ratios provision passed on a vote of 38 to 29. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.